let's have a little bit of fun and say goodbye to Sean Spicer. I like, and with this new guy, I'm going to be talking like, I mean, I find an excuse to do the Tony Soprano thing any chance I get. And now with this Scaramucci guy, I have to say, how was he not Trump's spokesperson out of the gate? He's like the perfect Trump spokesperson. But let's take a little trip down memory lane. This was how Sean Spicer introduced himself to the world. He came out in not just an ill-fitting suit, but really like, it's almost like a Men's Warehouse version of like, you're going to look fucking great. Like, like nobody could
Michael, it wasn't an ill-fitting suit. It was somebody else's ill-fitting suit.
Right,
but yes.
right, exactly. It's like, what? Like, you don't have to know anything about this stuff to know that it just doesn't look right. Like, and I wonder if he almost had like a, it's like, did he have like a pair of like flip-flops on with that? Or no, it wouldn't even be that relaxed. He had a pair of like Doc Martens from like the early 90s on with them. This is how he introduced himself to the world. And then I want your thoughts, and I will share mine as we bid adieu to Sean Spicer.
Photographs of the inaugural proceedings were intentionally framed in a way, in one particular tweet, to minimize the enormous support that had gathered on the National Mall. This was the first time in our nation's history that floor coverings have been used to protect the grass in the mall. That had the effect of highlighting any areas where people were not standing, while in years past, the grass eliminated this visual. This was also the first time that fencing and magnetometers went as far back on the wall, preventing hundreds of thousands of people from being able to access the mall as quickly as they had in inaugurations past.
I mean, it's almost like he. And now looking back, I'm not going to defend him in any way, but that he thought, wow, if I have to tell a lie this aggressive, I need to talk really fast and really loudly, and that will just get me through it. I'll just say, no, I don't know. I don't know that girl. I never met that girl. I did not go to dinner with her. What are you talking about? Right? It's just
more like, I did go out with that girl. She had an incredible time. It was the best date of her life. Everyone says so, and anybody who says anything about roofies is totally lying. The angles of the drinks, that was actually more what it was like.
Right. No, that's right.
Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine. I don't know what happened. I imagine that a lot of members of that White House press corps were, of course, glancing at each other like, what? I mean, because in day one, you could read, and it tells you what you needed to know about the Trump administration if you somehow didn't already know, from the campaign and the transition. That these guys this was a totally different set of circumstances and a different level of lying. And anybody who comes back and says, well, all presidents lie, all administrations lie, all press secretaries lie, yeah, I suppose. This is a different degree, and it's not a different degree, it's 50 degrees more, right? I mean, It's just they're on a different level. And a great piece, I think, on Friday by John Nichols in The Nation, like, as always and I don't know whether it happened this weekend, but, the press loves a narrative that they can latch onto in Washington, and we love staff changes, right? And what they represent, even though frequently
they represent a big fucking improvement. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
But we're gonna praise Spicer for quitting because he's gonna show up on Fox or CNN as a contributor, and he'll write a book and he'll make a lot of money, and there'll be sort of this narrative of, hey, this is the principled guy who quit, right? But there should be no principle ever tied to Sean Spicer. This is a guy who, as you just played there, from day one, told one gigantic lie after another. And lie isn't enough. We're inured to the meaning of the word lie, right? But I mean, one deliberate, misleading propagandist.
Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos